Hey everybody, it's AJ. It's still Friday, so whoop, whoop. But this is a video explaining and detailing my take on the event yesterday, Evan Carmichael Believe Tour in Detroit. It was amazing. I had a great time. So I have been looking forward to this for a while because this is one of the first tours that I've gone on that have been like career or self-improvement orientated. So oriented. um so I am definitely I came with expectations and they were all met or exceeded. And then Evan, God bless him, because he has so much work ethic and he really sticks to his word, because he has a spinal cord injury. He hit his head and he's wearing a neck brace, and he is still completing this tour, like still out here. He was like propped up against the wall with a pillow and just talking, and it was a 3-hour session. So, and then after that he got up, took pictures with people, and stayed and talked to people some more. So that was inspiring itself, because if it would have been most of us, we would have been like, okay, tour over, cut, I'm about to go home, get some rest. Like, this is too much. He was saying like his girlfriend has to help him put on his pants. Like, he couldn't even wear his own hoodie. He has to go buy a zip up, because the pullover he can't get over his head, because he has a neck brace and he can't lift his arms up. He can barely do anything at this point, and needs help getting in and out of the car. It's really crazy. And the fact that he has the ethic and the dedication and the sheer will to still come out here and deliver on his promise that he made by completing this tour, and to his wife Nina, because the tour started because he wanted to take her on a tour of a bunch of U.S. cities where sorry, I got distracted by this little notification, but wanted to take her on a tour through the cities in the U.S. in North America with more than 1 million people. So yeah, that's how the whole thing started, and then he turned it into a tour. So yeah, we went there, and my boyfriend and I, and we were a little late because it was opening day and traffic and parking was hectic. They had streets blocked off. We just dropped our daughter off. It was like ridiculous. And then as soon as we get out the car and park, it was like they started unblocking streets, and I'm like, of course. Get it together, Detroit. But yeah, so some of the takeaways that I got from this. So I did an action, and I actually spoke on this before, and it's kind of refreshing to hear that some of the things that he said is some of the things that I already actively practice, or some of the things that I've spoken upon on my previous video. So this is like, it's really enlightening, and it gives me a sign that I'm doing something right, or I'm doing some things right. So that was kind of refreshing. But I did an action: do things right away, don't think about it. He calls it the 80-20 rule. When you think of something, you have to do 20% of that thing. You don't have to go do 100%. If you have an idea, don't go like trying to write it down and plan it and all that stuff, because what that does is gives you an opportunity to like negate yourself and discredit yourself and your idea. And you're like, oh, this is too hard. How am I even going to get this done? No, that's impossible. Or you start getting discouraged by the planning process, and you're like, this is too much. No, this is too much. So what you have to do is, when you come up with the idea, you have to do something with that idea, like immediately. So if, say, well, for example, when he told Nina that he was gonna take her on a 23 city, well, actually it's 50 cities, he said. So when he said he was gonna take her to every city in North America with over 1 million people, he like started looking stuff up, and then was like, you know what? Let's book a room in Boston. And then for this weekend, and he said it was like a Wednesday or Tuesday or Wednesday or something like that. And he booked a room in Boston that week, booked a speaking gig, and you know, had people come out to see him, and that started the tour. And then they went back home, and then they started planning the rest of the tour. You have to get something started. You have to, you know, put some kind of action behind it, because then you start making that commitment in your head, and then you're like, okay, this is possible. Now, how do I figure out the rest? Or, you know, and on top of that, you start, you know, you show people, and then they start holding you accountable. So, you know, that kind of commits you to the actual plan of action, if that's really what you want to do. So that was one thing that I got to take away from. So another thing, I'm just looking at all my little sloppy notes that I took. Wrap your heart around things first. So, you know, if you're getting called to do something, do it with your heart. Don't wrap your head around it first, because your head is gonna, again, that ego of yours, it works for you and against you. So it's gonna try to talk you out of things just to keep you safe. But that's not always the way it goes. So, you know, don't let your ego talk you out of things. Do things with your heart, and follow your heart. Follow those callings that you have, as long as it, you know, is ethically and morally correct, as long as you're not placing harm on yourself or anybody else around you, or anybody else, period. But, you know, follow your heart and put your heart into it. If you have a calling for something, go try it out, because it's a reason for that. Even if it's not in your field of work, or, you know, it's not something that you would normally do, you know, don't worry about everybody else and what they may think. Forget that. Go follow it and see why you have that calling in the first place. Because maybe that may be your life-changing event. That may be your calling, period, that you need to go follow for the rest of your life. Like, and it may bring you ultimate joy. So go ahead and do that. Don't judge the idea, just do it. So that ties into the past too. You know, just don't sit up here and be like, oh, that's going to be stupid. You know, I had this idea, but it's stupid. Or I thought about this. I don't think anybody would like that, or whatever. Just do it. Just do it. Like, stop worrying about other people, because really your fears come from the judgment of other people. So don't worry about other people. Don't worry about what they'll think about you. Don't worry about, you know, because a lot of people who are the most successful were, you know, perceived as crazy at one point. Like, it's like, why you doing that? Like, how about you come party with us? You sitting at home studying, like, for what? Like, are you sitting working on that little pet project of yours, that little hobby? Well, this hobby made me $5 million now. I'm a multimillionaire. I'm a billionaire. Like, so, like, really follow your passions, and, you know, don't judge the idea. Just do it. Just do it and see how it works out for you. This is one I liked. Feel bold every morning. So do something that makes you feel bold every single morning. Because if you don't do that thing, then your whole morning, your whole day is going to, you know, feel average. So, and nobody wants to be average, right? So, you know, find something that makes you feel bold, emboldened, and, you know, confident, and do that thing. Because once you set the tone for the morning, it's going to be hard to, like, reset the tone for the rest of the day. And I know this for a fact. So what he says is, you know, find something that makes you feel emboldened and confident. Do that every morning. Do not miss it. And then that way you can have that same confidence carry you throughout the day. And, you know, you can go on to your next task, and with that same confidence, and, you know, feel bold and brazen, and like, okay, I'm going to do this, like, tackle it. Let's go. It puts you in a better mindset. It puts you, you know, in a better mood, and, you know, it gets things going. It makes you more successful. So I like that. Live with no regrets. I think we all say that at some point, but do we really live with no regrets? I know I haven't. So I have plenty of regrets, but now I don't. You know, I'm living my life the way I want to live my life, and, well, at least I'm starting to. So, you know, I'm just gonna do this, like, and, like, this YouTube thing, it's for me. This is for me, and I had to remind myself of that, because even today, well, not today, but earlier this week, I was like, you know, I'm grateful for these people that are following me. This is cool, but, you know, I could get so much more. I can, you know, how do I market myself? How do I do this? How do I do that? Consistency, content, creating value for people. And if I'm doing that correctly and appropriately, then it'll come to me. Yes, I'm still going to market myself. Yeah, I'm still going to promote myself and go hard for myself, of course. But I really had to think about, like, who are you doing this for? And yes, I want to help people. That's my one word. That's one of my core values, is help. Like, I love to help people, and that's what I want to do. And I want to create value in people's lives and, you know, make an impact. But, excuse me, but I want to do this for me. You know, if for nothing else, so I can look back and remind myself, like, okay, in my dark times or my low points in life, I can come back and be like, okay, that affirmations video, girl, you even said it out your own mouth. Like, come do affirmations. Or you haven't said anything that you're grateful for today. Not 5, let alone 1. Like, not 1, let alone 5. But, you know, I have to do this for me, because I want to get some of this knowledge out. I want to, you know, have record of it. I want to help others. I want to create value in this world. Somehow, somewhere, somebody is going to stumble upon my video and find what I'm saying, like, have what I'm saying resonate with them. And it could change their day. It could change the course of their life. I don't know. I don't know the effect these videos are going to have in life at all. But I want to do them because I'm doing this for me. And I want to have record of my progress and my growth over time. And, you know, when I become a multi-millionaire, I can come back and look at these YouTube videos like, damn, that's where I started. That's crazy. Like, that is mad crazy. So, yeah, I'm doing this for me. And I had to realize and remind myself, because at first I realized I knew it was for me. But I had to remind myself, because I get caught up in the, oh, how many subscribers? Did this person subscribe? Did this? And thank you for my 34 subscribers. Thank y'all. I appreciate it. Y'all are lovely. But, you know, I had to really think and like, oh, is anybody sharing my stuff? Are they promoting me? You know, how come they won't promote me like I promote me? Or, you know, if I were in their shoes, I will promote them. Why aren't they doing it? Like, and it's like, for what? For what? They have their own lives. They have their own agendas. Nobody owes you anything. And I have to tell myself that. Nobody owes me anything. I don't owe anybody anything. Yeah, that's just that. I had to grasp that. Model success. And this is another thing that I'm working on. So I'm a self-development junkie, I guess you could say. I love reading self-development books. I love watching videos that are going to motivate me and teach me something. But I go through all different genres, and which is okay, because, you know, you can learn something from everybody. Everybody. I don't care how dumb you think somebody is. You can learn something from that person because they had a completely different life experience than you. So something in their life was something that you never experienced or even considered before, and then you can learn something from them. So don't write people off in any capacity. Don't write people off. But I need to start looking at successful YouTubers and successful people in my fields, my other endeavors, and then start looking at their startup stories and how they built their empires from the ground up. And then I need to model that success. That's one thing about books that people don't realize or don't capitalize on. The fact that books have so much information, so much valuable information. And you read a book and this person has laid out the whole blueprint for you. Like the entire blueprint, and how they felt, their mistakes, their wins, their losses, everything. And like people just disregard books like it's some ancient time thing. No, books, especially autobiographies, those things will teach you some stuff. Like, I'm telling you, find the genre you want to go into or something that you want to, you know, pursue or better yourself at. and find a book that's in that genre. Find a person that you want to model your success from, and then read their autobiography if they have one, or, you know, start reading their material, listening to their startup stories and things of that nature. And, you know, I spoke on this on my earlier video from today, but purpose comes from pain. Your why comes from your pain. And, you know, I had been in denial about this for a long time, because I'm like, you know, you can find your purpose without going through stuff and blah, blah, blah. You don't always have to suffer to, you know, be successful. But we all go through some kind of suffering, and your purpose comes from that pain, because that gives you the most drive, and, you know, it gives you an insight, because other people may be going through that same pain, and you kind of want to prevent other people from going through that same pain. You don't want people to go through the same struggles and pain as you and suffering as you. So you now have the leverage and ability to help people that are going through that situation and that predicament, and in a way that other people can't relate to them on. So definitely consider that, because that just changed my whole perspective on my endeavors. So that really was a lot for me. I'd rather know and fail than not know. And that is something that I take to heart. I'd rather try this YouTube thing out for 2-3 years, 5 days a week straight, and then fail, than not know and then think to myself like, damn, maybe, I wonder what happened if I would have started a YouTube channel. Like, why didn't I do it? Like, fear, that's not a reason. That's not a legit reason. You know, so, or the, you know, the unknown, that's not a reason either. We don't start off programmed knowing everything. You got to start off from somewhere, not knowing how to do things, not knowing how to edit videos, me with a trash intro, like, where my picture cuts off me waving and saying, hey, hello, or whatever. Like, I'm still learning, and that's fine. Like, but I got the video out. I got my message across. And some of my messages, you know, I'm starting to learn how to get my point across more concise and clearly. And, you know, so people would grasp what I'm trying to say and not be so long-winded or, you know, go off topic. You know, it's a learning process. And so, you know, I'd rather know and fail throughout this process, because either way it goes, I'm getting better over time with this. And even though YouTube might not be my calling, something else that requires me to speak may be it. And I'm bettering myself today and all these days throughout these videos by doing this on an almost daily basis. So yeah, I'd rather know and fail than not know at all. So, and I don't want to live life of regrets. That goes back to, you know, no regrets. You know, they say a lot of old people when they're, well, a lot of the elderly, when they're, you know, on their deathbeds, you know, they don't talk about like, oh, I wonder what this person is doing. I wonder how social media is. I wonder what's on Twitter, like the Twitter, like, because old people, you know, no shade, but you know, they don't care about what's going on in the world. They reflect on their lives and like, they think, damn, I should have did this, or I wish I had the chance to do this. I wonder what my life would be if I did this more, or spent time with my family more, or I pursued this avenue in life, you know. So try to live with no regrets. Try to think about your future, and would you be happy with the life you live now if you were on your deathbed? That gets a little morbid, but seriously, we're all mortals. Like, we're gonna die someday. And you have to really accept that first and foremost, and then sit back and think, like, am I really living the way that I want to live, or would I be proud of my life when it's time for me to go? You know, look at Nipsey Hussle. Like, his life was cut short. 33, that's so young, so young. And just like so many other people's lives are cut short. I would say that, you know, even though, of course, he's not here to continue raising his kids, or, you know, continue bettering his community and things of that nature, or continue being, you know, the rock for so many people and their strength and, you know, inspiration. he's lived a great life. That man took every opportunity that he could and did that ish like wholeheartedly. Like he didn't half-ass anything. He took the opportunity. He had ideas and he acted upon them. And we should all take that mentality and that action. And, you know, when we have an idea or a feeling, we need to act on it. Stop procrastinating. Stop talking. Stop, oh, I'm going to do this one day, or one day is today. Start it. Do it now. Like, so, yeah, that's definitely something that I would, you know, that I live by. Leverage your strengths. This is one thing that I'm good at. I like to delegate things. If I'm not good at something, oh, you best believe I'm calling somebody that is. Or I'm asking for assistance of some sort. For the most part, I know my strengths. For the most part, I know my weaknesses. You know, there are exceptions to that rule, obviously. But in general, yes. So, my baby's up. But yeah, I know my strengths and weaknesses for the most part. And on my weaknesses, I reach out to other people. You know, if I don't feel that it's worth my time, I feel like everything is worth, you know, improving upon. But if I know that's my weakness and that's not my focus, that's not my priority at this time, then I'm going to delegate. Have somebody else do that for you. Okay, so I love research. That's my strength. If I know, like, people like my boyfriend, he doesn't like research. So he'll come to me when he wants to research something, and then I'll, like, do all the research, look it up, give him the rundown, and there we go. Like, so that's something that I enjoy, doing research. But a lot of people don't like it. They're looking like, I'm not doing that. I don't even read long paragraphs. Like, but that's me all day. I love reading. I love, you know, learning new things. I love researching. I love getting to the bottom of things. I love etymology of words. Like, I'll just go look up the etymology of some kind of word and be like, oh, okay, so that's originally Greek, and then this meant that, and yada, 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 and then those two words came together, and then it created this, like, oh, we lit. Like, that's just something I like doing. So that's my strength, and that's somebody else's weakness. So if somebody else has a weakness and they're like, hey, can you research this? Sure, why not? Like, oh, my baby's crying. But so yeah, you know, I had to stop and listen, make sure that's not a, like, emergency cry. Yeah. So another thing about branding that I learned, a brand is a feeling. A brand is a feeling. And so he explained this with his belief. Believe is his one word, and that's his, like, number one core value. So he built his brand around believing in people and, you know, believe, the word believe. So he had to ask himself, what does believe sound like? What does believe look like? What does believe feel like? And he put that emotion. So he created the paper airplane logo. And then that's why even in the picture, in pictures, he does this. So it's the paper airplane taking flight. And then he said he wanted to take the paper airplane, but make a jet noise, because, you know, you want the paper airplane is like the entrepreneur. You know, you don't have the money to, you know, get a plane or a Boeing or a jet or whatever. But, you know, you want to take off like a jet, even though you're a paper makeshift airplane. So I thought that was amazing. Like, that was so brilliant. And so, you know, you have to think, like, what does your core value sound like? What does it feel like? What is it? And then create that brand. Your brand is a feeling. And to think of it in that manner was, like, mind blowing to me. I'm just like, oh, snap. Like, I'm up here thinking, you know, and I would look up colors and, like, okay, what does this color mean and represent and stuff like that. But I didn't take it to that extent. So that was definitely a new perspective for me that I really appreciated. Constant expansion of your comfort zone. So basically that's self-explanatory. You know, you have to make constant expansions of your comfort zone, and that's how you build confidence. You build confidence on efforts, not results. On efforts, not results. I really want you to grasp what I just said, because that's another thing that I've worked on this for a couple years now. But you build your confidence on efforts, not results. And I still struggle with this. Like I was saying with the YouTube thing, like, you know, I have 30 something followers. I just started, and I'm up here talking about how many followers do I have, or subscribers do I have, and blase splee, and results. No, I'm putting in the effort to make these videos, and you know, it takes time. Like it takes, I use my light box, and I have all this studio equipment that I still don't use for real, but you know, and taking my phone and trying to turn it into a camera, a professional camera, and all this stuff. Like I'm making it work though, but you know, I'm putting in the effort, and I should be proud of the efforts that I'm putting forth, because I talked about it for so long. So now it's time to do. And I'm proud of my efforts, and I'm going to continue to be proud of my efforts. And even if this doesn't turn into something larger than this, I'm still going to be proud of my efforts, because I set a goal and I hit it. I made a commitment, and I continue on with that commitment. Even though when sometimes I wanted to waver, I had friends to hold me accountable, and I still, you know, kept with the plan thanks to them and that outside source and outside forces and whatnot. So yes, definitely constant expansion of your comfort zone, that creates confidence. Then also, sorry. So for people who are trying to start a YouTube channel, or, you know, create a following, show people how you learn things. So there was a question about this guy who was still on his journey of learning things, and, you know, he's implementing those things currently in his life, but he wants to teach others. So, Evan, you know, consulted him and said, you know, show them how you learned it. And then, you know, there's that, like, that's your brand. You show them how you learned it, and then, you know, you show your progress over time. And so I thought that was really insightful, because, you know, repeat things that you know, state things, teach things that you know for a fact. You know, don't speak on things that you have no idea about. But if you're learning something in the process, you know, show them how you learn this, or be like, you know, put that disclaimer, I'm still learning this, but this is how I learn, so I'm going to teach you guys, you know, because not everybody goes to the same source for information. So that's a whole new field for him. You know, people can look for him for information, but not like the next guy who gives the same information. So that was insightful for me. The best niche markets are where you come from. And this is something for me as well. You know, I have the jewelry site. I'm wearing my own necklace now. Beautiful. So y'all can see. But, you know, I have my jewelry site, and I decided I'm going to shut it down. Plain and simple. I'm going to shut it down. I'm also going to shut down AJ Steps of Alchemy for a little while. Because I want to revamp it. Jewelry is not where I come from. It's plain and simple. It was a fun thing to do and get into, and it brought some side cash, and that's lovely. That's always lovely, getting random side cash and orders and stuff. But I'm not fully committed to it. I'm not, and I had to be real with myself. I'm not fully committed to my jewelry site. And like, I made little memes and flyers and stuff to promote myself. I never put it out there. And they were some cute stuff. I had Naomi. I might post some of it just to show. But yeah, it's just, I'm not wholeheartedly into it. That's not my passion. That's not where I come from. So I'm not going to get in the niche market of jewelry if I don't have a passion for jewelry. Well, I do have a passion for wearing jewelry, but selling jewelry, then no, I don't have that passion. That's not where I come from. So I'm going to shut it down this weekend. So, but, you know, I'll help people. If you like this necklace or something like that, I'll help you find it. That's fine. Or I'll do like a side hustle. It doesn't have to be like my business, but, you know, I can still keep it running for people that, you know, want to get jewelry from me. That's fine. But I'm just not going to pursue it, because that's not where my passion lies, where my passion lies. So, and I'm going to shut down AJ Steps, because I'm going to tweak it a little bit to make sure that it reflects exactly what I want it to reflect. So there's that. Tell the story. You know, I started this channel off because this was my original first video was going on AJ Steps website. And I wanted to tell the background story of how everything got started and why I'm starting this YouTube channel, and me actually uploading it to YouTube was not a part of the original plan. I just kind of thought of that on a whim. And then I'm like, you know what? Let's keep rocking with this YouTube thing. Like, let's just start it off. This perfect time. So that was strictly supposed to be on AJ Steps of alchemy.com. So, and I still own those domain names, and that's still like a registered business with the state of Michigan. And, you know, I got my tax ID number, all that stuff. Like, that's a business. That's my brand. That's my business. But I just need to tweak it some more. So, yeah. About hiring. This one, I like this one. So, for the hiring process, you state the mission first. And, you know, sometimes I thought it was a little cliche. I thought it was more so like, oh, you know, trying to motivate people to get over here, and then you're like the corporate bad guy. So and what I mean by that, like, oh, they'll say, oh, I'm looking for somebody with ambition, who believes and wants to be a part of our mission, and who's passionate about sales, and using all the hot button words for emotions. And then you get there and they're like, hi, I'm the clear eyes guy. Like, and you're like, what? Hold up. Like, this, what about the passion? What about that? Yeah, like, what happened to all that? Now it's all dry and dead up in here, and everybody just hate each other and hate work. Like, what is this? This is not what I signed up for. I thought it was like that kind of scammy type stuff. But, but what he explained was, you know, some people look at that job post and be like, this is the dumbest thing I ever heard. Like, and those are the people he wants to avoid. So, and then he said, you know, he'll make the whole job post in one long paragraph, and then in the middle, he'll give somebody a task. And he said so many people don't read the full paragraph, so they don't complete the task appropriately. And then he automatically, like, that wipes out 80% of the people right there applying for the job. So I found that to be extremely helpful and insightful, and hopefully that helps somebody else. So, let's see. My daughter is at the door, so if you hear that. Delegate appropriately. Again, we spoke on that. And plan the long term for your one word. So, you know, with this YouTube thing, this could be me planning for the long term. So I can do this. I can hop on Instagram and plug my YouTube at the same time. And then I scaled a little bit. Then that could turn into, you know, me doing courses, online courses. I scaled a little bit more. And then that could turn into me doing in-person workshops. I scaled a little bit more. And then that could turn to me being a motivational speaker, turning it into speaking gigs. And that turned into a little bit more. Like, I'm scaling this process. Like, so you have to plan for the long term and to scale for the long term. What is your goal of your business? Are you able to scale that business? If you are, how so? If you're not, are you okay with staying stagnant in your business and not growing it in any way? You know, some people are okay with that. That's fine. That's fine and dandy. But be prepared and, you know, realize exactly what's going on and why you're doing it and where you could go, what's your potential, and all that jazz. So I found all of that stuff to be helpful. You know, it was very insightful, and I'm definitely going to more networking events and more tours of entrepreneurs. I definitely want to go to one of them Tony Robbins tours, low key, but that price tag is expensive. Woo, that mug expensive. But that and Grant Cardone, I need to see him in person somehow. I need to get a part of his courses. Listen, we got to make this happen. Okay, I got to make this happen. Not we, but because I'm going to vlog the journey on here and put it on here. So yeah, take this ride with me. I'm on the road to success. I'm on the road to personal growth and happiness and ultimate health and abundance and, you know, joyful, that didn't make sense, but joy and just living a happy, healthy life and being surrounded by happy, healthy people. And I want to help people create the lifestyles that they want, and, you know, bring people as much happiness as I can and as much success as I can. So if I know something that you don't know, or the next person doesn't know, or, you know, whatever, share my video with them, or, you know, explain it to them. And this is another way for me to retain information as well. When I learn something, you don't know anything for real unless you could teach it to somebody else. So I'm retaining this information, and I'm making sure that I have solid knowledge on the topics that I speak on. So that is also something. So yes, I do plan on scaling this to Instagram, and, you know, creating shorter videos, and then kind of leading them here to my YouTube channel, and, you know, creating and scaling. So look out for that. I'm probably going to work on that this weekend. But yeah, so that's what I learned from the Evan Carmichael Believe Tour. And my take, you know, everybody has different takes from it. Sorry, cracking my knuckles. Everybody has different takes from it and different perceptions. And, you know, what I learned may not be what somebody else learned. Somebody else may have learned something completely different. And that's fine. That's fine, because we all have different perceptions and different lessons, and our life experience and past creates what we learn today. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and hopefully this gave you guys some valuable information as it did me. And I will see you guys Monday. Have a great weekend.